We want you to make thankful your default. So you not only practice gratitude, but you simply are thankful. My next guest is sharing how we as women can feel and live gratitude on the daily, beyond the gratitude journal or jar. Connie Sokol is here. Welcome, Connie. We love when you're here.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
We're just talking about developing that thankful heart and why that's so important.
Yeah, gratitude is, we all know the data. It's this long of all the benefits. It's the hub. It's the catalyst of all other good things of healing and joy and purpose and happiness. So it really is that number one thing to focus on if you want to shift your life.
Okay, I like that. And, you know, some people would say that gratitude is a spiritual gift, but you say it's also a skill.
Yes, and it's a skill, which is good news, because the more that we understand the power and the impact of gratitude, the more we'll assign more value or energy to it, and then the more it actually starts to change us, like we actually become a grateful person.
Okay, so we might have to, it's something we can actually gain. It's not like, oh, you weren't gifted that, so
That's right. Or like, okay, today I'm gonna feel really grateful. It's more of, wow, this is my default. Like, this is who I am. I am a grateful person, and that's different.
Okay, well, you have 4 principles of gratitude that will help us develop that thankful heart we talked about. And first you say we have to remember gratitude is a way of life.
Yes, and there's 4 women that I'm gonna spotlight because I watch these different women. I could do so many other women, they're amazing. But these 4 women, I've watched them, how they really live this. And this first one is my sweet friend, Wendy Osborne. You know her. She's the owner of Tabitha's Way. Love this woman. And the principle that I got from her was awareness. So her ability to be aware and that gratitude that stems from that is phenomenal. We were both asked to be on a TV show, not this one, and we were sitting off set, and the other ladies were going and taking their turn. And of course, I'm running in and I'm thinking about, do I talk about this or do I talk about that? Totally self-focused. And all these things are happening, and Wendy's sitting next to me on the couch. And all of a sudden, I hear her go, does she need help? And she is already off the couch, not just sitting back going, I wonder if she needs help. She's off the couch. A lady's just got done. She's doing home decor, and she's got all these big tubs, and she's stuffing them. Apparently, I don't know, I came to and was like, oh, something else is happening besides me. And she's just over there immediately helping her put stuff in. You know, she was getting ready to go on, but she was so aware and so focused. And I just will never forget that focused look of, how can I help her? Gorgeous. And that taught me about be aware of what's going on around you, about other people. Just that is what creates that way of being grateful, because you're aware of other people.
Okay, I think that's something we all fall prey to, where we're self-focused. If we can just be more aware of those around us and find those opportunities too.
Oh yeah, and that was this morning, like right now, this sweet camera gal, I come in and I'm thinking she's an assistant. I'm like, can you take some pictures on set for me? And she was so gracious, yeah, sure. And I'm like, oh, she has to run the camera. Like, I'm thinking about me and Costco lists that I've got to do after this, and I'm not thinking. And so it helped me. It clicked me into, I am focused on the viewers. I'm focused on how can we give them value? What can we share? And it shifts, it changed my feel of like, that's right, and it resets you.
Okay, thanks, Wendy, for that. Okay, and next you say gratitude is a muscle we have to train.
Yes, and this is my friend, artist Laura Scheider, a mouthful name, I know, and she jokes about it, but she is amazing. She's the owner of Artists & Co. And the principle that I got from her was this: actively look at the experiences you're having daily as a training ground for this gratitude. She, 10 years of IVF, of in vitro fertility, and finally got a daughter, and then 6 months into it, they realized she's severely delayed. And she said, I went to my parents, I was talking to them, it was woe is me. Understandably, she was just having a pity party, like, why? And she said, my dad said something I've never forgotten. He said, it's not about you. This is about Emmy and her journey, and you get to be a part of it. And she said, it changed everything. She said, suddenly I'm driving her to all these appointments, and I was happy about it, and I got to be a part of my daughter's journey. And now she's 21. She's living a beautiful, full life, and it's so glorious. And she said, it taught me every time those things came up, it was, I am training myself to be in that space of gratitude, and that's how she lives.
And you see so many parents, I've seen this time and time again with moms who have children who have some special needs. Yes. And they say, people always come up and they say, oh, you're such a blessing to that child. And they're like, you don't get it.
You don't see it.
Yeah. This is my gift that I get to share life with this child.
Exactly. And that's how she has viewed it. And you can see that just in her countenance and her way of life. It's beautiful.
I love that. Okay, next you say gratitude is also a habit.
Yes, and that kind of ties into that. This is Stephanie Trainer, and she's the owner of Tiny Teachers, and her whole premise, she has lots of littles, and her premise is our kids are our tiny teachers, that if we pay attention, they are helping us become who we need to become on the daily. And so she has made it a habit, and she's attached it to a habit, sort of very Atomic Habits thing. But she says when she puts on her makeup, she thinks of one thing she's grateful for each of a member of her family. And then she turns it into to love you. So she'll text them, and then she'll say it verbally or whatever it is. But she says, as I'm putting on my makeup, I'm thinking of each person and one thing. And now it's a habit every day. You imagine that data on how many positives we need to combat the negatives and all the things. And every day, those kids, that husband is getting those positives on the daily. That's a way of gratitude living.
I love that. One time I was struggling with one of my kids, and I asked a woman who I knew had struggled with her kids. And she said, what I did is I put a sticky note on my mirror every day of something I loved about him. You know, and so every day I'm looking at that, like every day it's something different. This is why I love him. This is why I love him. It's similar principle.
Yes, and it actually works. Like this is all about shifting us, not a one-time hit, but really shifting into that.
Okay, a quick minute just to talk about our last point, which is use a gratitude lens when it's difficult.
Yes, and this is my sweet friend Taylor Thurgood, who is amazing. Loved ones that have brain injury, addiction, depression, kids with diabetes, anxiety, ADHD, and then she had health problems. She couldn't figure out what they were. I mean, for years. And she said that she was talking to her therapist once, and she was like, I'm not gonna make it. And he said, I want you to do a 1-week gratitude challenge. And she's like, cue the eye roll, right? And then he said, no, but don't have the same thing the next day that you wrote before. You can't say anything that you've used previously. And she said, you know what? It made me go deep. And that has changed her to where now it goes that cell deep of what she's really grateful for, and then lives in that, feels that, soaks in that on the daily, no matter what's swirling up here, makes all the difference.
Oh my goodness, these are such good reminders. And I mean, we all know these things, right?
Yes.
But we have to live them. So people want more of your goodness. Where do they find it, Connie?
Right now, Wednesday IG Lives, 9 a.m. It is nothing but goodness. It's so good. We call it Girl Chat with a Purpose. It's organic. It just started developing. It's so fun. This week, we're talking more about this and then Holiday Miracles. It's going to be a mini Hallmark, real women who engagement and wedding experiences. It's the sweetest, most tender thing. Just kick off for the Thanksgiving weekend of feeling grateful right to our souls.
Real world Hallmark.
That's
What
right.
could
Real
be
world
better?
Hallmark.
Okay.
9 a.m. Wednesday on my IG.
Okay.
So fun.
Thanks so much, Connie.